Hey guys, it's Coach B. Wiley. I decided to come on here today. It was last minute to give you guys your first video of the year of 2024. So if you're watching this live on TikTok, how are you doing? And if you're watching this on YouTube, how are you doing as well? Feel free to heart and or subscribe and or like, share, comment on this video. I wrote down a bunch of video ideas for the year because last month I did record numbers with subscribers, with followings, with likes, shares, and all that jazz on TikTok and YouTube. So I was just like, let me come on here again and make sure I keep that same energy. So this is the first video of the year, and I'm going to continue to do majority of the week. I will give videos out majority days of the week. So I wrote down one thing about me as being a life coach, and this ain't got nothing to do with being a life coach, but me, I'm a single parent. So one of my titles and one of my topics that I wanted to talk about was dating as a single parent. There are a lot of women who, whether you were divorced, let's say you're married, had a baby, things didn't work out, you got a divorce, so you're a single parent now, and or women who have been with men in long-term relationships. Maybe he was ill, maybe something happened, he is no longer here, so that makes for a single parent. And or maybe you were just in a situationship with someone, you ended up pregnant, and they don't want to be in the child's life for whatever reasons, and now you're a single parent. Or maybe you decided that you wanted to be a single parent because you were tired of waiting around to meet a guy, had not met a guy, and you knew that was something that you wanted to do with your life. Whatever your situation may be. Mine personally, my son is 17 years old, and I am a single parent. I was forced into single parenthood because my son's father decided he didn't want to participate as a father. He did in the beginning. And when I say the beginning, I'm talking about within like the first few years, and I'm giving him some credit there. However, for the most part, since my son, since like 2011, the end of 2011, my son is 17 now, dead in the water. Like, meaning what I mean by dead in the water, I mean he has made a choice not to participate in his son's life. And it is what it is. However, side note, ladies, before I even get into the topic, if you're in a situation to where you're a single parent, whether you want it, chose it or not, I am an advocate of child support. It doesn't matter if he is $10 an hour, $5 an hour, $100,000 an hour, if he's a millionaire, whatever the case may be, child support is your friend. Because no matter what, let's say you don't get the money today or you get it inconsistently. Like, I get child support. It's been more inconsistent than consistent. I am owed as of today right about at 17 grand. And that's a felony. If you owe child support of a certain amount, depending on what state you live in, it is a felony. And if that guy gets pulled over or for whatever reason have any dealings with the police and his name is ran through, he will be arrested and he will be put in jail. And a lot of people are like, well, what is jail going to do? Jail isn't going to make him pay. Well, don't nobody want to be in jail. Anybody in their right mind. So perhaps he would say, well, I don't want to be in jail. And every time I go out, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder, think I'm going to get pulled over and get my license suspended, or that I'm driving on a suspended license because I just got out of jail. Who in their right mind wants to even go through that? So just think about it and consider it. Being on child support, no matter, the most I was getting when I was getting child support was like $30-something every 2 weeks. $30-something, guys. Come on, you know how much it costs. If you don't know how much it costs to raise a kid, you have an idea. So $30 a week, that's how much it costs to get my son a lineup. He has locks, but when I take him to get his haircut, that's literally how much it costs. So anyway, all right. So we're talking about dating while single. So I'm going to give you a story. So this has been so long ago. It was many years ago. I didn't have a babysitter because when I moved to St. Louis, I have a group of family members that are literally dad, my girl cousin, my guy cousin. That's the family. But I didn't grow up with them. And I literally didn't know them. I've seen them at family functions over the years, but I didn't grow up with them. So moving here, I got to know them and we would always hang out for holidays. Well, anyway, this particular guy wanted me to go on a date. I didn't feel comfortable asking them to babysit, even though they were my cousins. I was like, we're strangers almost. I was not comfortable with that. And so anyway, I hope this isn't shaking. I think I was leaning on the, oh, but behind me, I forgot that was even behind me. This is the clock behind me. It's been wrong since I got it. It looks good. It looks really artsy in the area. I have it in my house, but the time is always wrong, and I'm not trying to fix it because something is wrong with the hands. They like clash with each other, but it's good to look at. So I hope it. I tried to center it as much as I could because that can bother a person when they're watching a video if something is off center. So hopefully that's not bothering you if it is. So anyway, fast forward. So I go on this date, and I'm so silly back then. I didn't bring tablet the first. My kid used to have like a tablet. He really used to be into Thomas the Train. I didn't bring a tablet. I didn't bring a cell phone with games. So it was like a Japanese restaurant. I didn't even tell him that I was bringing my son. Ghetto, just ghetto. So I just show up with my son. And so I just show up like, hi, we're here. And so on the day, I remember my son sitting there because it's like intimate, but it was during the day. It was a lunch day. And I remember my son, I was just giving him pieces of paper to tear up, and he was just not into it. And he wasn't a bad kid or anything like that. He just wasn't into it. And maybe that was a sign for me that dude was just not it. And it ended up, me and that dude, we ended up just being cool. It was nothing serious at all. It was more just something to do. But that should have been my red flag right there. And I took him on the date, which do not take your child on a date. He was so young, he doesn't even remember that guy. And that, which makes me think about this. Don't introduce any guys to your son. Not to your son, to your children. Don't get in the habit of introducing dudes to your kids. Now, back then, my son was so young, he didn't even remember him. However, I don't advise you to do that. If I could have done that all over again, I just would not have gone on the date unless I could have gone on the date while he was at daycare, or maybe we could do lunch, take lunch from work, because we were coworkers. If we could just go on a lunch break and do that. So when you're single and you're trying to date, it's good to vet these dudes. Like, you got to be like on your game. It's not like your kids and, oh, you can come over to the house. No, you have to have boundaries, and you have to have some solid standards. Not that you wouldn't if you did not have kids, but I'm just saying it's more serious when you have kids, because you got to be mindful. Number one, of course, of who you're entertaining and engaging with, but you have to be mindful of who this dude is and what kind of example he will be for your child. Not saying he's going to come in and be your kid's father. No, I'm saying what kind of example, because your children, if they are old enough, they're going to see this dude at some point a year from now and be like, well, why did she choose him? Like, what's going on with that? He smokes cigarettes. He lazes around. He's inappropriate. He uses bad, foul language. I know my mom likes to go to church. He don't ever go with her. Like, they pick up on all that. And the thing is, you want to always get an opinion from your child. That's another thing. So when you're dating these guys and they finally, before they meet them, you want to ask their opinion. What do you think about me going out today? I'm going out to date Jeffrey. I'm going out to date Jeffrey. This is what he do. You can tell your kids about the guy. This is what he do. He works at an office, and he's an office manager, and he's 32, and he has one child. He was previously married. Like, you could literally give them appropriate details about the individual and just see what their opinion is of you dating this person, and or you dating just in general. And maybe they'll have some questions that they'd like to know. They might like, well, do they like kids? Because you could be dating a guy named Tom who doesn't have any kids, and you have one. What are your kids' thoughts on that? And you also want to make sure that you let it be known straight out the gate that you have a kid or children, and you want to give them that exact amount. Now, that's when he's going to ask what happened to the baby daddy, the ex-boyfriend, the ex-husband, the fiance, whatever your situation may be. If there wasn't even, excuse me, a relationship involved, he's going to have questions. And then that's when you need to just be straight up. Things don't be working out just because things sometimes don't work out. People grow apart. People bump heads. People have conflict. People don't believe in the same thing. Values change. Minds change. Whatever the case is, you want to make sure you're being as completely open and honest. You're not telling all your business. Of course, you're not doing that, but you're just letting you know. Like, if I was on a date and a dude asked me, so what happened with your baby daddy? Because a lot of guys will be concerned about, is this dude going to show up at your house on a date, stalk your life? I mean, these are realistic things that happen with women who have children, and it happens. And so what I would say is we're not together. We have not been together in over and beyond a decade, meaning I literally have not seen him. I don't remember the last time I saw him. Maybe when my son was 2 and he's 17. We don't communicate whatsoever. And he has made a decision not to be in his son's life. Well, why would you choose a dude, B. Wiley, who was trifling and who want to make a kid and not be there? Well, that's not who he was, sir. When I was dating him, he was not this dude that he is today. Because you know why? Because people change. And who that guy was when I was dating him, he literally, for a year, he literally had a job. He always had his kids with him. I literally saw him with his children. His children were around me. He was hardworking, respectful, responsible, easygoing, kind, generous, funny, friendly. I mean, you name it. He had a side hustle as well. And then it flipped because things happen. I don't know why things happen, but they do. And then things changed. And it wasn't just my son that he decided he didn't want to be in his life. It was his other children as well. So things happen, and it's not my fault that he is who he is. I just receive who he is, and I take care of myself and my child, and I keep it moving. Like, you have to give him like an answer like that. You're not going into what happened. We always between the sheets, and this happened, and then you got cussed out, and then he cussed you out, and then you went to court, and then you bust some windows out. No, it's nothing like that. You just give him the direct answer and let him know there is no reason for him to even wonder or ponder upon your child's or children's father showing up in the picture, because it's clear that what you had is what you had, and it's dead in the water, and there's nowhere that you can go with that, and there is no interest on either side for each other. And women, when you're dating and you have kids, I'm gonna take a sip. So I'm gonna show you on my glass. It says, I got this glass. You probably can't really see what it says, but it says Pop Fizz Clink. I got this glass from the Dollar Tree, and today's drink is Prosecco. So that's what I have in there. And so when you're dating, you want to, where was I going with that? With the guy, I have a new kitten. I don't know if you've heard her in the background, but that's what I keep looking at. She literally just jumped on my back and tried to climb my back like a tree. I don't know what she was thinking, but she got off my back real quick. But anyway, so when it comes to, what was I saying? I was saying something about that. Oh yeah. So when it comes to your fathers of your children, you want to make sure that you're over them. You're completely over them. They're out of your system. You don't have no reason to even dibble and dab back over there, because you shouldn't be dating. If that's how you feel about your children's father or fathers, you should not be dating anyone. Specifically, if it's even related to an ex, you literally have to be over that person, because you don't want to start dating a new dude. Meanwhile, while your baby daddy is lingering in the back of your mind, because then guess what? All he has to do is send you a text message after he done found out you done went on a date with a new dude talking about some hey big head, and now you're back with the baby daddy, and now this new guy thinking he has a chance, and now it's complicated and messy. So don't even do that to yourselves, ladies. So if you're just tuning in, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I just wanted to talk about briefly about single women and dating. I gave a little bit about my story. And when it comes to that, you want to don't go in inviting your kids on dates. You want to get their opinion on the person before they meet them. And then when you see that his actions are 100% aligning with his words, then months and months down the line, sure, of course, introduce your kids to him, because you want to see then what's that energy like. Is he good with kids? Does he like kids? Some people might have kids, but they don't even like other people's kids. Like, that's a thing. Or some dudes might like their own kids, or like kids in general, but they don't want to date a woman with a child. So that's why I say it's imperative that going in early on, you let that dude know if you have a kid and how many children that you have. And if you don't, This is just a side note. You want, and you know you want kids, then you definitely shouldn't be dating a guy who don't want kids, because that can really screw some stuff up, and you don't want to go in thinking that you can change his mind. No, you want to receive him. And so when you're dating, you want to be, I'm gonna tell y'all this now. Dudes gonna be judging you when you're a single mother. They're gonna be thinking, so you're good enough to get pregnant, but you ain't good enough to be wifed up. Like, you ain't got to prove yourself to nothing or no one. All you have to do is show up as who you are. Period, point blank. Because who I was when I got pregnant with my son 17 years ago, I don't even relate to who that girl was, meaning I wouldn't even look that guy's way. With my mindset that I have now and how I've evolved, I wouldn't look his way. Not saying he's less than. No, I'm just saying he's not in the pool of men that I would even be lingering around, swimming around, or pulling from. I would be so far away, not even on the same beach, like way away off in the distance to where I wouldn't even see him and he would not see me. And that's another thing that guys need to realize, who you were, perhaps if you made a decision to be with someone and have a kid by this person and they're just not perhaps a good person, their character is not good, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're making those same decisions later on down the line. You don't have to justify nothing. It is who it is. Like me, I'm not going to justify nothing. It is what it is. Who I was when I got pregnant is who I was, and who I was liking back then. And who I am today is who I am today. And I'm not going to do magic tricks or try to convince, coerce a guy into believing that I'm just this ignorant baby mama who don't know a good qualified man if I met him or if he stepped on my toe. Absolutely not. Because who you are, your character, your judgment, your standards, your boundaries, what you believe in, how you move, how you operate, your energy will give all of that. And you won't have to literally say any of that, because you will be showing with your actions and who you are. That's who you are now versus whatever you were then. And at the end of the day, humans choose wrong sometimes. I would have never chose this person to be a father to my son had I known what I know now, because why would I choose that? Why would I choose a dude who is in his children's life, who I had known and seen on multiple occasions, to then, once I have a kid, decide, oh no, I'm good, I don't want to be a father anymore. Like, that doesn't make sense. And no child doesn't deserve to be just without both parents. And of course, things happen. And if you're in that situation and something has happened to the other parent, whether it was because they made it happen to themselves, and or if it was just their expiration date, whatever the case may be, I think it's good that you also join groups for like-minded women, especially groups for single parents who have lost loved ones, whether they chose to lose themselves or life in life, it was just their expiration date, whatever that is. Or you can join a group with other single mothers. There's all kind of groups on like Facebook where you can go on there and you can join other kind of like single parent groups and bounce ideas off each other, single and dating. Go on meetup.com. They have all kind of groups on there, girl groups, where you can meet other single women, bounce ideas off of each other, possibly swap out the kids when one has a date, and you'll babysit her kids, and to pay her back, she'll babysit yours. I mean, there's all kind of ways. You never want to leave a kid unattended that is not old enough just to go out on a date. That isn't appropriate. That's not good. And you want to just take your time with these dudes and make sure that you're vetting them and you're asking the questions and that you're paying attention to their actions. Because if you're really dating with the intention to get married or have a life partner, then whoever that person is, they're going to be around your children. So you want to make sure that you're listening to your gut and that you're actually using your eyes versus your flesh to figure out if it's the right dude or not. So I think that's about it when it comes to being single and dating. I pretty much gave you a synopsis on what to do, how to move. And a lot of people, I can relate to this, whose parents never, my mother never asked for my opinion on anything. However, I ask my son for his opinion on most things that he can give an opinion on. And so he has a lot of insight. He's what's inquisitive? What does that mean? I don't know if that's the right word, but maybe it is. But he's very inquisitive. He has bright ideas. He's very smart. at his age. And so it's good to ask your children what they think, because guess what? Your children know you more than anyone. They live with you. They see you every day. When you looking like a bald head scallywag with your with your bonnet on, when you angry, mad, happy, when you're being, of course, the great mother that you always are, and see what they think. And it's good for you to understand what a quality guy is and what that's going to look like as a father figure if need be. Because some people that are watching this too are just like, well, B. Wiley, my son's father is in his life. We're just not together. So that's cute too. So if it goes X amount of time and it's getting serious and you've become committed to each other, you gotta let that baby daddy know, like, look, dude, I'm dating Tim over here. This is what we're doing, and he should meet him. They definitely need to meet, because one thing I know, dudes know dudes, and it doesn't matter if your ex boyfriend / baby daddy wasn't the best dude. At the end of the day, if you trust his opinion, you know it's going to be unbiased. They need to meet. They need to meet regardless, unless he's just a dum-dum, like somebody I know. If he's a dum-dum, then don't even bother. It's a waste of time. But if you're good, you co-parent, great, and they're going to be around your children, oh yes. They need to meet. The three of y'all need to go out to lunch, have a little powwow. Not literally, not powwow. That sounds like a fight. Have some crumpets and tea and get to see where it's going to be. All right, guys. This is Saturday, apparently. It has been snowing overnight, and then it was raining. It is just like a drag today. But I came on here. I'm glad I came on here. This is the first video of the year. Happy 24. And look for more, because I'm going to be doing uploads majority days of the week. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. Feel free to subscribe and like. If you're watching this on TikTok, which I don't think anybody actually came in here and watched it at all. I usually do a story saying I'm going to go live. I don't think not one person came in here. Ain't no viewers in here. It says encourage your viewers to share your live. Ain't nobody in here. So anyway, guys, that's the video, and be on the lookout for more. If you're ever looking for a coach that can assist in dating and communicating, I got your back. Coach B. Wiley. And the links are in my bio. My mentor.life, Coach B. Wiley. All right. Talk to you later.